Hey, second grade. Today we're going to be working on this really cool hot air balloon collage. We're going to be using the elements of our lines, shapes, and we're going to use pattern and Roy G. Biv to color this hot air balloon. We're also using different mediums. If we remember, the word mediums means art tools that we use to create art. So we're going to be using permanent marker, crayon or color pencil, and watercolor. So the first thing we're going to do is using our paper the long way. You guys are going to have a circle maker. With the circle maker on your paper, you're going to make sure you hold the white part or the colorful part of your circle maker nice and strong against your table. You're going to take your pencil and right on the edge, you're going to create a circle. When you do this circle, please make sure to press softly because we will be erasing. So you should have a circle that looks like this. Right under your circle, we're going to create the bottom part of our hot air balloon. So I'm going to take two lines that are slightly curved like this and like this. Now we're going to close it like this. So we used a curved line, and a horizontal line. This line right here that's part of the circle will be erased because we don't need it anymore. And now we have our hot air balloon. Okay, so now your job, my friends, is to use the elements of lines that we've learned in art class to decorate your hot air balloon. And just to review, I'm trying to make this a little bit lighter. We can use wavy lines, zigzag lines, dashed, dotted, loops, spirals, thick lines, thin lines, diagonal lines. We can use bumpy. We could use vertical. So there's so many different lines we can use, and we can use them in different ways to create different patterns. So I'm going to use my imagination. I'm going to decorate this hot air balloon the way that I want my hot air balloon to be. It does not have to be like this one that I am demonstrating. It could be any style you want. You guys are the artist. So I'm going to go ahead and start decorating my balloon. I am going to make sure to create a pattern that I like using the lines that I've learned. And because I want to make this a little bit more interesting, I'm going to kind of double up on my lines. In other words, I'm going to make my pattern a little bit more complicated because I know how to use these lines. So I'm going to show you that I know how to use these lines by adding them to different parts. I am going to use lines in ways that I haven't before. So these are my bumpy lines. And just like the hot air balloons that we saw earlier, hot air balloons could have many different patterns. And I want you guys to think about what patterns do you want your hot air balloon to have? So once I am done with my patterns in pencil, I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to trace this very well, okay? I don't want to see any of my pencil and I want to make sure that I do my best neat work. So I'm going to pause this and I'll be right back. All right, my friends, so as you can see here, I traced over all of my pencil. I'm going to go over my drawing and erase any pencil that I left behind because I don't want that to interfere with my coloring. Sometimes if we color over pencil, we will still see it, especially if you're using crayons. So if you don't have a good eraser, just raise your hand and I will try to give you one. So now that we have our hot air balloon, we're going to be using the colors Roy G. Biv. So Roy G. Biv stands for the colors of the rainbow. I have my crayons here, so I'm going to get my red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and we have blue violet, which is indigo, and violet, which is purple. So these are my colors that I'm using on my rainbow. We could use them in order from red to violet or from violet to red, okay? It's up to you, it doesn't matter. But these are the colors of the rainbow. So I am going to start with red on the top. I'm just going to go ahead and start coloring. Now, when you're using crayons, I want you to make sure that you are coloring very neatly and in one direction. Crayons can be a great tool to use if you use them properly. If we just do crazy coloring in all directions, it's not going to look as nice or as neat as we want it to. So when you color with crayons, make sure that you are doing it in one consistent direction. You're pressing nice and hard. You're making sure to get all those little white spaces like I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring this in order. So I started with red, Roy, orange, and I'm just going to go ahead and continue coloring in one direction, pressing nice and hard, making sure to get all of my white spaces. I'll be right back. All right, friends, so this is the finished piece here. I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer because I want you guys to see it. I colored all of my picture with crayons, made sure to use the Roy G. Biv colors, okay? I colored all in one directions and I tried my best to fill in as much of the white spaces as possible. Now that I am done coloring, in the next video, I will demonstrate how to cut out this balloon and what we will be doing in the next part. Okay, so have fun coloring and creating. I'll see you in a few.